which is the historical sign behind you. Later we will go to the other side and take a look at it. And then we'll go to a temple that will be hidden in the alleyway. I will tell you why I want to introduce this temple. And inside there's a special god worship inside. So one of my favorite gods. And then after the two places, you might be a little bit tired. So we'll go to the department store. It's also a historical site. So you can take a short break in the AC room, which is needed. And then we will go to the third official temple we're going to visit. So in Tainan, we got 9 official temples, and we're going to visit 3 of them today. So this one is known as Fisher's Temple. I will tell you a little bit about it later. And then we'll wrap up the tour in front of the National Museum of Taiwan Literature. That will be the end of the tour. So we will end the tour in front of here. And if you want to walk back, that you can follow me because I put my scooter around this place. Well, you can see most of the people, they are riding on a scooter, including me. I'm also came here by scooter. So that would be around lasted 3 hours, more than 2.5 hours. So that's it. You know, Taiwan has a lot of the temples, but which city has the most temples?
Tainan.
Tainan. Yeah, exactly. If I say this question, it will be Tainan has the most temples. We do. We have the highest density of temples. So we're going to visit 9 out of the 3. They are official, but there are a lot of the private temples. A bit scary because I can see the whole button playing. Okay, so that's the first feature. We got a lot of the temples, so we will be visiting some temples, but not every one of them. So you will be bombarded by like all the temples. And the second feature would be, you know, the current capital is not in Tainan. It's in Taipei. So where is the oldest capital?
Tainan.
Thank you. So Tainan is the oldest capital. So this is a place you'll get to know a little bit early history of Taiwan. And the last one would be, if you ask the local people, they wouldn't be bragging about the history or the temples. They would probably be bragging about the food in Taiwan, or especially in Tainan. So in this tour, we will also pass by a museum. So we will introduce the whiteboard tea. Later I will show you what is that. There's no coffee included in the drink. So it's optional if you want to try that. And then at the end of the tour, I will introduce my restaurant that I've been to and I recommend it to you. Okay, so that will be the 3 feature. And the tour is led by Lucky Formosa. So you probably have heard of Taiwan in sweet potato shape. So if you look around, you see me or other people walking around, we look more like descendants of Chinese immigrants. But in reality, we are actually half of the descendant of Chinese immigrants and a little bit of indigenous people living in Taiwan. So thousands of years ago, before any people who set foot in Taiwan, any foreign influences, the only people who had lived in Taiwan for a long time, they would be the indigenous people. That's right. And some of them even travel all the way west to Madagascar Island, and some of them travel to the east to Easter Island, and some of them travel all the way south to New Zealand, not Australia. But they were really good at sailing far away. So they have their legacy, they have their spoken language, but what they didn't have was the written language. So we did not have historical record. Seems to be nice for us, so we don't have the long history to learn. And our written history started back to 16th century. It traces back to 16th century. The Europeans, they were sailing on the sea, and there was a European country, well, not from Switzerland, not from Germany. There was a European country passed by Taiwan, was amazed by this island, so they shouted out, "La Formosa." What does La Formosa mean?
Beautiful island.
Beautiful island. You probably have learned the history of Taiwan a bit, or you probably speak Portuguese. So the Portuguese sailor, they shouted out La Formosa, but they did not come to Taiwan. They actually went to Macau instead. Took Macau as a trading port. It wasn't until 1624, another European country, they set foot in Tainan. So who were they? Exactly. Probably have done some research. So, okay, so the Dutch, they took over Tainan in 1624, and this one, it was the second fort built by them. And then 2 years later, there was another European country. There would be the Spanish took over the northern Taiwan. So 2 European countries in a small island. They fought. So who got kicked out in the tour? Well, in the fight.
Spain.
Spanish, yeah, they got kicked out. So the Dutch, they stayed a little bit longer for around 38 years. But there was like Chinese regimes and they was dying, they was looking for a base, so they kicked out the Dutch for only 20 years. They colonized Taiwan for only 20 years and they was destroyed by the new founded regime in China known as Qing Dynasty, Qing, which is really unfamiliar if you have never heard of history of China. So basically they colonized for the longest time, for 200 years, until the end of the 19th century. But at the end of the 19th century, this one, they got in trouble with a lot of European countries. They also got trouble with Japan. So they had the war with Japan and they did not win, they lost the war. So Japan demanded, why don't you give me the small island, Taiwan? And then they say, okay, feel free to take the island, then we will cede it to Japan. And then we became the first colony of Japan, starting from 1895 until the end of the Second War. So Japan colonized for only 50 years, but during this 50 years, they have done a lot. If you have like taken the railway in Taiwan, the local railway, 70% of it was laid down in the Japanese era, especially in the West. It was actually developed in the Japanese era. So a lot of infrastructure, they was actually laid down in Japanese era. So most of Taiwanese people don't really have a lot of resentful feeling to Japanese or Japanese colonization. They have exported, but they also have made contribution. But at the end, they have the ambition to make the round circle railway. But they did not colonize Taiwan for long enough, so they say goodbye. And here's the tricky part, because after the war, there was another war in China known as Chinese Civil War. And there were 2 political parties. The one is the Communist Party and the other one is known as the Nationalist Party. They were fighting and there was the one is losing, which is the one below, the Nationalist Party. And they wanted to fight back. So they came to Taiwan first, took Taiwan as a base, tried to fight back. But they have this ambition after the war, but they have never fulfilled this ambition. And if you now ask the Nationalist Party, do you want to fight back now? Would they say yes, they want to fight back to the Communist Party? No, they don't have this ambition now. They wanted to have economic tie with the good economic tie with Nationalist Party. Sorry, Communist Party. They don't want to fight back anymore. So the weird thing is, official name of Taiwan is not called Taiwan, it's called Republic of China. And then Communist Party, later they found a nation called People's Republic of China. So then you got 2 Chinas in the world, which is really confusing for people who come to Taiwan, also for the local people. But the official name is not something I can change, or that's like from the constitution. But like when you come here or when I travel abroad, just like to introduce myself as Taiwanese. I'm from Taiwan, and the island is called Taiwan. But officially, it's still China. So I hope that one day we will be recognized as an independent one. Because if you see Taiwan domestically, we got everything that a country needs to have: military, governments, like social welfare, everything is included in this small island. So, well, that's just the current situation. If you want to know more about the modern history of Taiwan, you definitely can join. 400 years ago. So currently, where you are standing now, it was not the land. 400 years ago, when Dutch arrived in this place, when indigenous people mainly occupied the West Plains area, it was actually the ocean. So, Chikan Tower, the first historical site that behind you when I introduced you to Taiwan, it was actually facing the ocean. So over there, the entrance, it was facing the ocean. So where you're standing now, it was like a piece of the inner sea. It was the inner lagoon. And when the Dutch then arrived in Tainan, they did not arrive straight to the sea. They actually arrived in a sandy bar first. And they built the first port called Fort Zealandia. they are from the name, maybe you have heard of the name Zealandia. Z kind of means sea, Landia means land. So where the sea meets the land, it's a beautiful port and a beautiful name. And it was built on the sandbar, so they do not have enough land, so we kind of run out of the resources. And they want to build a second port. So we happened to got a Chinese farmers riots around this place. But they was quickly being suppressed by the Dutch forces. And they decided to build a second port. So they built a port right here. And they call it Port Provincia at the time, Port Province. So this one was more like their military base, and this one was like their economic base. And then between the two ports built by the Dutch, it was actually they travel by ships. They did not travel by any animals, or they did not travel by foot. So 400 years ago, there was the inner sea. Where is the inner sea now? The inner sea now is basically but it's not by humans. It was by nature. Because in the Chinese regime, Qing Dynasty, the inner sea, they are slowly being covered up into the land. So now we really couldn't see the inner sea part. Only this part. They still have some fishing parts, some inner sea left. So they still have some wet land. But this part has all changed into land. And you can see the elevation is like kind of going down from the second port. And they will be able to see through the first port built by the Dutch 400 years ago. But not now. So this is like the old map of Tainan. It shows the old beauty. And later we'll go over there to take a look at the second port built by the Dutch. If you want to visit the first port, you can go to Arctic area. We'll go this way. It was setting up there and facing us. But now the current entrance has shifted because the road over there is like wider. So the government, they changed the entrance. But originally the entrance was facing us. And if you take a look at the architecture style, the fort built by the Dutch, the second one. Do you think it was the one built by the Dutch, the architecture style? It doesn't really look Western. It looks more kind of like Chinese. Especially the second layer, it looks like a temple. So over time, after the Dutch left, the new people came and they built over it. So the original architecture style, it kind of looked like this one. It's a painting, and it was facing the sea. It makes more sense based on the old map that you saw 400 years of the map from 400 years ago.
Looks very different.
Well, what about the only similar part? So the second layer has changed. The base is the same. Yeah, the base is the same. So I think this one was new built, so it's still white. And then over almost 400 years, it got polluted, so it got darkened. But the base is pretty much the same. It was the one built by the Dutch, and the entrance was facing this way, without the fence. And it will be facing the sand and the sea. So it was a beautiful place to look at the sunset back in the day, but not nowadays anymore. And what happened to the second layer? Why is the fourth, the post is gone? Because we got natural disasters, we have earthquakes. So there was an earthquake, they just struck the place and the building collapsed. So the Chinese people, they built over the temple, they built over the base, they built a temple. So inside, there will be a god, it's worshipped. If it's a temple, there will always be a god worship. And the god worship inside is this guy. Is it really cute? Well, I say cute, but it's a special looking god.
Looks scary.
Yeah, kind of scary. He doesn't really have a friendly face. And each god has his own beauty and responsibility, so he certainly has his own specialty. So do you think he's a god of transportation, or do you think he's a god of marriage, or do you think he's a god of education?
Education.
Education.
He's holding a brush.
Yeah, so well, we're close. Well, later I will go to the temple, so you'll be able to throw the trash. So if you take a look at him, he's holding a paintbrush. And people think that if he uses paintbrush, circle on your test paper, you will pass the exams, or you will take the first place. You can take a look at his feet. One of his feet, there's what is that?
So about yeah.
Well, as long as it's not poisonous, it's fine. So it's stepping on the fish. This one is a fish. Stepping on the fish head, meaning that you are likely to be the first one to take the first place. So every part of his movement is about to blast you when you are taking exams. Holding the paintbrush, this one will be instilled, and this one is the head of the fish to get you the first place. And the other one is kicking upward because he's holding like a ladle or container. So it represents his whole Chinese character. Holding a container, and his whole movement represents a ghost character in Mandarin. And also including his face. He doesn't really have a good looking face. So one of the special god of the education. If I'm going to take a big exam, I might come to him as well to get the piece of the pencil from him. Then I'm more likely to pass exams. So if you are going to take any exams, you might consider going into this historical site and get a pencil from him. You need to ask him, and I get a pencil from him. So that will be the old view and the current view. And before it was called Four Provincia, Four Province. And now, what is the name of the fort? Now it's called Chikan Tower or Chikan Tower.
Chikan.
Which is really weird because when they translate it into English, it sounds like
Chicken.
tower, right? It sounds a bit like chicken tower. So did people raise chicken here? Well, maybe they did, but that's not the main reason why they call it Chikan Tower. The reason they call Chikan Tower was because the land. Before the Dutch arrived, they were indigenous people. And the people who lived in this land, the name of the tribe was called Chikan. So the government wants to commemorate the people who use the land, so they renamed it into Chikan Tower. So the land was used by indigenous people, and the foundation built by the Dutch, and then the temple built in the Qing dynasty. So it's sort of like the history of Taiwan in a nutshell, like in a simple way. So you can get to know more of this historical side a little bit more, and later we'll go back to the meeting point because there's a cute creature. You can take a look at it and tell me what kind of animal do you think it looks like, and then we'll go to the temple where you can throw the castle. So, in Eastern culture, you can think of him as Eastern Zeus. He has many partners. So dragon also got many partners, and he got the one with turtle. So they got a baby, and that would be the son of the dragon. So each son of the dragons, they like to do different things. For him, you can see he's carrying a heavy tablets on his back. So he likes to carry heavy things. Really powerful, mighty one. Whenever you see him, he always carries heavy things on his back. And here are the 9 sons of dragons. So dragon actually has more than 9, but these are the most famous one. And the one that you saw refers to the green one. He has a name in Mandarin. We can all try to say his Mandarin name. It's called Bixi.
Bixi.
Yes, easy to say, Bixi. But if you want to write down the characters, these are really complicated ones. It's like a piece of art that you can just appreciate the beauty. And later when we go inside the temple, we'll also find for other son of dragons, but we are not gonna collect every one of them because they are not designed all in the same temple. So later on we'll see other son of dragons. Going to this gates. Only if the guy is coming or they are going somewhere,
上炷香，
then we will
一上
open this
香
gate.
拜，祈求风调雨顺，国泰民安。二上香拜，祈求民心物
Point
户
to the garden,
景泰
hoping
春
to
和。
get the blessing from the
三
goddess.
上香拜，祈求如意增祥，
And
海
now you're in
阔
front
同
of
春。
the sea goddess temple. We call it
Zhi
Grand Mazu Temple, the Grand Sea Goddess Temple. This one, it has like 400 years of history. It was remodeled into the sea goddess
应该
temple in
没有没有，应该
16.
3只一起收完再
In 1684, in 1684, it got changed into the sea
3只
goddess
收完
temple.
再转给
But before that, when it was built at the middle of the 16th century, it was not used as a temple. It was actually used as
重
someone's
点啊，
house.
那个什么
When it was built, it was not even a temple. I will tell you who lived inside and what happened in this place and how it got turned into a temple. But before you go inside the temple, you can take a look at it. There are 3 gates in front of the temple. So you need to choose one to enter and choose one to exit. So which one will you enter to? Which one will you exit to?
Right.
This one, the right one, and then you will exit to the left one. So why would you enter to the right one? It's also known as the gate of the animal over there, the gate of dragon. So dragon in our culture means like good thing, blessing. So you enter to the dragon gate to get the blessing. And this gate is known as the gate of tiger. So if you exit to the tiger gates, then you will leave all the bad things behind.
It's like Lotus Pond.
Lotus Pond. Yeah, if you've been to Kaohsiung,
Yes.
there's a Lotus Pond, and they have the dragon gate in and tiger gates out. That's the same concept.
But in Lotus Pond, the dragon is left.
Dragon, maybe it's because of perspective. So if you turn from the God's perspective, facing this way, then it's on the right and left.
I see.
So it's always from the God's perspective, right way in and then left way out. If you don't know, like left, right is confusing, just look at the painting. They will tell you tiger gate out, dragon gate in. Yeah, that's how I enter to the temple. And the middle one, usually it would be block. So today probably a special occasion, so they take off the block. Only the owner can enter to the middle gates. Or nowadays, only the person in the highest ranking, that would be the president, prime minister, will be able to enter. So now we just normal people will enter. The mayor is inside. The city mayor in Tainan.
What?
The announcement says the mayor will do something to the sea goddess.
What happens if we walk here? Will they fine us or something?
They won't really fine us, but just morally that people will be
Oh, they will give us a nasty look.
Most of the time it's blocks. Like
Oh.
10 out of the 9.
I see.
I can't believe that the mayor is inside.
Oh, wow. Which one? Which one?
We got the male mayor. Probably it's in the main hall. Later we might pass by the main hall. So you might be able to see the city mayor in Tainan. Well, before that, you can take a look at the piece of the art over there, next to the plaque, the black flag. So if you take a look at him, he doesn't look Oriental. He doesn't look like Taiwanese. He looks a bit like a Western. Which European countries is he from? If you can recall that it's Taiwan. Netherlands, yeah. So
Which one? Which one?
the one over there, next to the plaque.
Oh,
There's a man figure.
oh, this
And
one.
It looks a bit old.
This one.
Carrying a heavy thing on his back or
Yeah.
around his head. So if you cannot see this figure clearly, kind of look like this man figure, but they are the different one. But this one is designed a different temple. So they refer to the Dutch because when they colonized us, they did not treat us really well. So after they left, we want to give them some punishment. So we make the figure of man carrying the heavy things on their back as a punishment. So it's the moral lessons. Like if you mess up with the people here, they will make a figure of you carrying the heavy things.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in the temple or at home. So that's the things that people might do.
8. 请进线。请求用错，请求用错，对。
Oh, sorry. Is he there?
It's actually short. If I can go through it now.
便决，请进线。 对，你那个花的话暂时不动，花暂时不动，等一下再它下去的话再动，它盘子再给它 ，OK， 好。恭向天上圣母行3鞠躬礼，1鞠躬，再鞠躬，3鞠躬，请护位。
That's a rehearsal. So the person in the middle is not the main. Probably just a representative or replica. When the real day, the mayor will show up. Really, there was a one time that I passed by this temple and the mayor passed by. He just finished the ceremony. And the guests that met the mayor, they got like a
请众县官、主祭官、中县官向前就位。
There's only one time. Meet the mayor. Okay, so the reason I bring you to the real home is because when it was built, it was not used as a temple. It was used as someone's house. So basically, there was a Chinese regime. It was like dying and they was fighting. So he established the last Chinese regime, and they came to Taiwan. Took Taiwan as a base. But the one who came to Taiwan, he was just a general. So he was not like powerful or royal enough to represent the regime. So he invited the last royal representative. He's known as King Ningjing. Ningjing is his name. King Ningjing. So King Ningjing, he came to Taiwan. He came to the capital, Tainan. And he wanted to, he was the representative, he showed the Ming Dynasty. But he needed a place to stay, to live. So this one, it was his place. So he was living here with his 5 lovely wives. He was not the only one, he was living with 5 lovely wives. But the Qing emperor always wanted to destroy the remaining power in Taiwan. So he sent the forces one day in 1683. So 1683, they ruled. They lost the war, so the leader of Ming Dynasty surrendered. And the king, he got 2 choices. You either surrender or you either die with your regime. So he chose the second one. He wanted to die with his regime. But before he died with his regime, he invited his 5 lovely wives to have the last dinner with him and told them, you don't have to that you are free. He's a kind king. He's not like the brutal one. He treated people nicely. But his wife was really in love with him. So the next day, what they did was to harm themselves. Right at the beginning. Wow. So they wanted to die with the, well, it's weird, but
all 5?
All 5 of them.
Yeah. Maybe the first one only.
None of them escaped. None of them set
my
themselves
God.
free. Despite the king wanted to set them free. So 5 of them died in real home. And he died. He buried them one by one. And now they are being worshipped in the temple. 500 temple. And the king that he came outside to say goodbye, and then he also came back. He also hung himself right at the real home. So in total, they were 5 dying in the mansion. So after they hung themselves, it became like a haunting house. And luckily, the prince that before he died, the king, he told the people, after I committed suicide, please change this place into the temple, sea goddess temple. So it got remodeled, renovated into a temple. And it was used as a temple until now. So it's more like a sacred place now. So lucky for us, it's not an abandoned place. It's into a historical sea goddess temple.
Is this guy the Kosinga guy?
No, he's not the one who kicked out the Dutch. The one who kicked out the Dutch, he died the year he kicked out the Dutch.
Oh.
Like
so this after Kosinga.
Yeah, after the general who kicked out the Dutch, Kosinga, and his descendants, like the 3rd generation, rule Ming Dynasty in Taiwan. He invited the king. So the name of the king was called King Ningjing.
I see.
And then he died. But why didn't he just surrender? The leader in Taiwan, he surrendered. So he had a good life. He slept well. Well, in captivity, was being watched by the regime. But for him, why don't he just surrender? Between the Ming and Qing dynasty, there's a different thing. If you have watched Chinese drama before,
所以
not
回家全台胡吉万美的事实差
Okay, you
别，
do. I also
和
watch
台信
Chinese
众
drama
皆在神佑，
because the
以
clothes
巨
are
鸦
so
片
pretty. So
拜
between Ming dynasty and
哇
Qing, the new established regime, they have different hairstyle. Which one is the hairstyle using the Qing Mingjing dynasty?
Ching.
现查
The new established regime. Qing dynasty. Follow the one who watched Chinese drama. Qing dynasty. The last royal Chinese regime. That would be the other
拜
one.
Is it?
Yeah, because
请进线。
so in Ming dynasty, they will have their hair. But the new regime, they have to shave their hair.
I thought they have like a.
Yeah, they do. They shave most of their hair, but there will be the braid on the back.
Oh.
So that would be the new regime's hairstyle. So I guess the king, he did not like this hairstyle. He did not want to shave his hair. But we got the two gentlemen right over here, and if you were the king, would you rather to have this hairstyle, or would you rather die? So maybe he died for the
就距离主线
badly hairstyle, which is kind of weird. But he would rather die than shave his
要
hair.
这么转过去。
Because shaving his hair also represents submission to the new regime.
光向天上圣母行三
And the
鞠躬
previous
礼，
regime,
一
their
鞠躬，
ruler is more Chinese ethnicity.
再
So
鞠躬
each，of your skins from your
三
parents
鞠
should not
躬
be，shaved
请
unless it's
入
a special
位。
occasion. So it marks as the end of Ming Dynasty here. So before we go to the main hall, you can take a look at the side hall. There's a really popular guy. Suffered by
必
the snow so much.
行中线之礼，中线官行中线礼，请中线官4点大
The
礼
one
服
with
主
the
任
black
委
beard,
员
and
张
another
武
one
威
uh,
一
it's not
冠
like
旗
white beard,
手
wearing the
就位
green, not blue
冠
jacket.
旗，
So the one that I want to tell is the one with black beard. The one looks like
请中线官诣天上圣母神位前。
and he's the one that's standing under the moon, the old man under the moon. So what do you think that he can do for us? Is he a god of transportation, god of education, or god of love?
就位，
What is
鞠
three?
躬，
Number three? God of three. Okay, god of love.
上
Exactly,
香。
god of love. You can see the background like the pink. And if you look at if you go inside, you'll be able to see there is a board, and with a lot of the people they put it down.
拜
They got matched by the god of the love, like testimony board over there. So in Tainan, we got 4 gods of love, and he's one of them. But why do we need 4 gods of love? You don't want this enough, right? Why do you need like 4 in Central West District? They are all within walking distance. So if you are interested in one of them, you can definitely let me know. I'll give you the address of the temple. So the one inside, he's really good at matching the people and get them to the next level. If they want to get married, he is really good at getting people married. So if you want to propose, you can come to him hoping that you can
拜
successfully propose to your girlfriend, or your girlfriend wanted to be proposed, then you can also come to him. And if for me that I'm single, I want to find my potential match, I will go for this one. He has a big lips and big ears. So he's really good at talking and hearing. So he will introduce a lot of potential matches. But he won't filter still with flies and butterflies. So you have
可
to do
以
it
保
yourself.
罗高飞
But I'm
光
not
彩
really
纪
good at
念
this.
主治
Like
满
all of this
之
potential
建
matches. Then I'll
成
go
中
for this one.
间，
The one with
拜
white beard. He's holding the stick. This one is like a whipping stick. So what will he do is, out of all the potential matches, he will like whip the bad ones away. Or if you are in a relationship, but you are not so sure about the other half, it's your true love. You are still a little bit hesitant, and you cannot tell. Then I'll go to
在
him.
演哪个位置？
So you'll be
然后
using
再
this
我
whipping
再
stick.
讲
He's
现
not a
国
good one.
再进前
He will show the true color, and then the
现
guy will either
国
break up or continue to be together. So each one of them has their specialty. And the last
拜
one, he is really good at
请
fixing the
进线
relationship. So maybe you are in a relationship, you want to fix the relationship, you are fighting with your partner, then we'll go for the soul. He's the one who fix the relationship. So we got like 4 gods of loves in Tainan to have our relationship covered in
公向天上圣母咸
Why this one got no like a red face
在鞠躬
Yep.
like this one?
I don't exactly know why he has a darker
且
skin.
护卫
Oh,
They all have different design,
yeah,
and he's the one with the darkest skin.
yeah.
For his darkest skin, I don't know does it fit to his specialty,
Oh,
but because his lips and his ears, that's his stronghold. So if you're interested in any one of them, then you can just let me know. Starting at 9 a.m. So if you are, it's 10 a.m. Then the city mayor will really come. So if you are interested to see the city mayor and see the whole autumn festival for the whole temple, they will have the autumn and spring festival each year. So if you're interested, you can come back here tomorrow. The real one will happen tomorrow. So you can take a look at the main goddess, sea goddess. And each god or goddess from Taoism, they have their own story becoming the god or goddess. They were once upon a time human beings just like us. So that means all of us have the chance to be the god or goddess. If you have done enough
你们
things
一
to
样
your
哦，一个盘一
community,
个一个
contribute
一个
enough,
捧着酒，
that
一
you'll
个
be
分给
able
他
to be
们，
promoted
两边都一样。
after if we pass away, then we'll become the god.
are you talking about the small ones on the?
The one in the middle, the biggest
Oh.
statue, that she is the sea goddess. And her story of her becoming the goddess was she was the one saving the fishermen.
拜。
I think we have
3位
more than
先
5
官
fighter
向
jets
后转，
flying over already.
一
Oh.
，It's a
五
little bit more
九，
frequent.
大家干杯。
Is it because of autumn
忙
festival?
45
Autumn festival? I don't think it's about autumn festival, but I feel like recently the frequency is going up. Before it's like maybe 3 or 4, and now it's like maybe 5 or 6.
收准
Is it the war with China?
The war with China, we don't really have the real war. It's
Oh.
just like potential conflicts.
Okay.
And they are sailing around the sea of Taiwan. So it's so safe. If you are staying in the mainland, it's really safe.
So who are the little ones in front?
So the little one, the one in front of the main statue, she's like the replica of sea goddess. Because when we have parade, then we will bring the sea goddess outside. But you couldn't bring the biggest statue on the street. That would be too heavy.
送
You
无
still have
送
to have the main one in the temple. So they will be the one carry when you have the parade.
Oh.
And her story of her becoming the sea goddess was she was a human being born in China, in southern east coast of China. She was born in a fisherman's family, and at the age of her 28, she was saving fishermen's life when there was a storm hits, and she was sailing on the sea, saving their lives. But in the end, she was sacrificed, and she got struck by the waves, and then she
我晚
died.
回
And
就
people
回来，
commemorate her.
回来你们都
So
没
they
事，
built the
你们
temple,
快
and the reason why we have a lot of sea goddess temples in
So,
Taiwan,
无重
because we got a lot of the immigrant coming from southern east coast of China, and
对
they
对
brought
接对，你要
them.
接下来那个
Especially, they think the reason they crossed Taiwan Strait was because sea goddess helping them cross Taiwan Strait
都没有
safely.
若干，不能给一盘一盘送过去，送到你们那个桌子上那
Well,
边去
today I probably won't let you do the activity, but you would know how to talk to the god. So
请
before,
护
you
卫
can take a look at this one. This is a picture of her head
来
fallen to the
接下来接下来哈，
2000.
侧转，
So it's 21 years ago. And
那
if
个
you look at
糖
the
果盘子，
picture,
然后你糖果
that
盘先
her
拿糖
head
果，
at the time was
哎
dark. But if you look at her
哎，
head,
没关系，糖果
the
盘先拿
face,
代表
she
一下
had，golden
那个
face.
黑白点，黑白
So
点。
why did the color of her face
来，看你
change
向
from
前，
the
中
dark
间
to
到
the
中间，
golden?
对，
Too many people touch.
拜一下
Too，many,
哎，
well, that's
然后
okay.
向
So
后
we
转，就
cannot
送
touch
送
the
走
face
到
of her.
走到那
It's
个
like
山
far
上
away
面，对，
and it's close.
走中间，
Oh, is that the smoke?
一样都走中间。
That's the reason because
Yeah.
people use the incense sticks and the smoke of incense sticks that darken her face for like 200-300 years. So at that time, when her head fell down, she had black face.
来，接
And
下
when
来
they
各
were
位注意
fixing
哦，楼
her
上要注意
head,
哦，那个
they
送子
knew,
的。
underneath the black.
送神来宾，请起立向后
So when
转。
they were fixing her head, they realized underneath the golden collar, she have the underneath the black collar, she have the golden collar.
Oh.
You can take a look at there's a bell. There's a drum. Tomorrow they will be playing the bell and the drum, and that represents tomorrow will be really loud for sure. It's just a rehearsal where you can see the scale. If we want to come and worship sea goddess, we will hold the piles of the golden.
这里在
And
引
we'll
导
also
三位
use
县
the smoke
官
of
们
incense sticks.
三位
We
县
think
官
the smoke
自
represents
望
our
摇
wishes.
手，
They will be transferred to
请
the
全体来
god.
宾向
And
后
then the
转。
pile of the paper, then we'll take out to the incense burner. Later we will see the big incense burner where the paper will be burned. When we burn the paper, we think that it
请正
represents
县
the
官、
currency.
主祭官、中县官、司苗。
And we'll give the god some money, then we'll get the blessing in return. That's like the concept that we do. And my father used to take me to the temples and then burn the incense sticks and also the spirits paper. We also do the same thing to our
稍晚的
ancestors.
就可以对，
My
你放进去以后，我有点想
grandparents, and we also
把它
burn
放
things
进
to
去，
them.
继续再放下去的东西。好，这个
So
祝福。
God is how to recognize.
请市长黄伟哲颁发佛在学首席顾问佛信仰顾问邱素兰顾问证书，由首席顾问代表受证。
They have their superpower based on the movement they do. You can see the ray guardian that
你记得
here
引导
is
哈，
facing
市长站这
the
一边，
entrance.
好，让佛在学。
Here upon the wing.
这样，对对对
So
对，
you
这
can
边
take
阿英这样子，
help.
你
And
证
you
书
come
拿
and
了，
save
正好
the
给
people
给
in
市长
danger.
这样。
And the other one, the green guardian, besides looking to the entrance, see, so he can see far away, see 1,000 miles away. So if
好，
you go
谢
in
谢
danger, you
啊
can，
好，
spot.
请护卫。
So these are the two magical guardians for sea goddess. Only she has these two guardians.
I see.
Rest of the sea goddess, they don't have these two guardians. They were the one
恭请黄伟哲市
conquered
长
by
致
sea
辞。
goddess when she was alive. They were like two troublemakers in her village.
没有，那一个那个
So there's more than one sea goddess.
More than one.
对对对对，我会
There's
告诉
only
你状
one
况
sea，
会看状况跟你
But
讲
we
说
also
快
have
点
goddess of
拿来
childbirth. We also have
因为
different
佛在学一
goddesses.
定会
Oh.
啊，我
So
去
you
帮你
know,
拿，哎
she is sea
可能
goddess.
最多是跟他
And now she has evolved into like goddess of transportation. If you don't know when to fly back, you can come to ask her. But how do you ask questions?
好，礼
We will use the
成
moon block.
作
I'm not so sure if you
业
have。seen the moon block.
啊，对对对，OK，好，那就大概状况是这样的哈，我们先休息一下，等那个会议来到，全部就完整的一演一次哈，OK。
Today they took off the bench, probably for the tomorrow ceremony. People would kneel down and then holding the moon block, facing the sea goddess, and they will ask the question. But before they ask the question, then I'll tell the god, my name is Xiuguo, and my birthday, I was born in, not going to tell you my age, I was born in something April, and my address. You also have to tell the goddess your address to be accurate.
Home address or office?
It will be home address,
Home, oh.
so she will be able to locate where you live.
Okay.
But you don't have to tell out loud, just have to speak in your heart. So no
Okay.
one will steal your personal information. So I live in Tainan and then I can ask a yes, no question. Let's say, is it possible for me to travel next year?
Ooh.
Well, so if you see it's one curve side up and one flat side up. What do you think? Is it yes, no, or laughing? So you think this one is a maybe? Maybe?
Maybe.
Laughing. You think it's a laughing answer? Well, this one is neither no, neither laughing. It's a yes.
Yes.
Yep, you know it. It's also the same in Malaysia. So one curve, one flex. That means a firm yes. The God say yes, it's possible for you to travel next year. That would be really nice. And if you get this, that would be your laughing answer because you are smiling. Two flat side outs. And if you get this one, two stern firm curve side outs, that means no. So this is how you can ask the question to see goddess.
Laughing means maybe.
Laughing, it could be a maybe or the question you asked that the God didn't understand.
Oh.
So you can rephrase it and ask again. So this is what we do. And sometimes I get no, but I really want to do the things I asked. I will just try it another time. Or I would change my question. Because I really want that.
Is that only once you have to get a yes or 2 out of 3?
For the really important question, then you actually have to get 3 of this in a row.
Oh, 3 in a row.
But I think traveling question is more like safer question that I would just go for 1 because I'm afraid the second one won't be this.
Yeah.
So put it back. Everything goes well with
Why is the Buddha smaller than the guardians?
guardian.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they are smaller, but they are around the same size.
Oh, is it? He looks much smaller.
Well, the one in front may be smaller, but the one behind they are like bigger Buddha.
I see. Oh, okay, okay,
So
okay. I got
there are
it.
three Buddhas, they are worshipped in the smaller hole. The one in the middle it represents like present, and the one behind just the past, and the one on your that would be on your right that represent the future.
I see.
The really special 3 Buddhas. And for this one, there is a guardian that he's holding a weapon right over him, like holding a big weapon. He's not just a guardian for Buddha. He's also worshipped as a main god, god of the war in Taoism. So he is a guy who is worshipped in Buddhism and Taoism. So even we got a figure of a person, he's worshipped in 2 religions.
You mean the one on the left?
Yeah, the one on the left with the ray skin, but the black face. But usually when you see this guardian, he will have whole ray skin, ray face. He's a really popular god.
That's the Romance of 3 Kingdoms guy, right?
The
Yeah.
Romance of Guan Yu.
Yeah, yeah.
Later, have you heard of Guan Yu?
Yeah, yeah.
How come you heard of? You play games?
Yes.
Okay, guys, and he was also a true person, a general, and he was not born in Taiwan. He was actually born in China. So do you know which kingdom he was from?
Han.
Han. So when the ancient dynasties split up into 3 kingdoms, we are Wei, Wu, and Shu Han. So like Yellow Kingdom, Pink or Blue Kingdom, and he belongs to.
Yellow.
Hopefully the game didn't tell you the historical background.
Guess red.
Guess red? Oh, you're really close. It's this one.
Oh.
You would have guessed.
I don't know, just from a
I
vibe.
would have.
I would have.
Okay, so he actually belonged to the weakest kingdom, but he worked as a powerful general. And when he was fighting against the Pink Kingdom, he lost the battle and he was captured. And then he was asked to surrender, but he was like a strong character, so he refused to. And then his head was taken away. If you have read the story, Romance of 3 Kingdoms. And then his spirit was holding the weapon, wandering around looking for his missing head. And then he met a monk one day. The monk told him, now you are looking for your head. But what about the people when they were alive and were looking for their head? So he was kind of enlightened and then learned the teachings of Buddha. So he was able to be worshipped as a guardian for Buddha in this smaller house. When he was alive, he was such a powerful general. So he's also worshipped as a god of the war. And he's worshipped as a main god in the temple. And inside, the god of the love that I show you, the one who can cut the relationship, is also worshipped in his temple. Because he's the god of the war, so he has the power of cutting the battle. So that's why this god of the owns the power. Which is really
Wait,
special.
he's the same guy as this one.
No, he's not the same one. But inside the god of love, because the main god is god of the war, the mighty one. So the god of the love worshipped in the temple have the power to cut the bad ones, just like the mighty general who can cut, can slaughter the animals. So later we'll pass by the temple. The other side is the same son of dragon. Half dragon and half the other creature. What would it be? A tree? Animal? It would be an animal. So we got the biggest son of the dragon, half turtle. And we also have the one is really shy, so his face is hidden inside. The third one? The third one, 1, 2, 3. This one is wrapping around the bell, so it's designed around the bell. That would be the one in the spiral shape.
Snail.
This one, yeah, snail. So it's half snail and half dragon. And he's really shy. He closes himself all the time. He's probably served as a guardian in front of the temple to protect the temple from the bad people coming inside. And apart from the son of the dragon, we also have the one on top of the incense burner. You can see that in the middle, there's an incense burner, and on top of the incense burner, there are two animals playing with the board. So they are another son of the dragon. They are half dragon and half lion. So that would be the one right here. And what do they like to do? They like to play with the smoke and fire. So incense burner is a perfect place to play with smoke and fire. And what can they do for the temple? They will protect the temple from fire. So you design over there symbolic. These are like 3 son of dragons. Then rest of them you will be able to look for them yourself. Or there's actually this one will be designed around the cauldron. This one will be designed in the breach. This one will be designed in the weapon because he is bloodthirsty. Actually, if you go over here to see the weapon, on the handle, before the blade, that will be the design of him. He's so bloodthirsty. So we designed the weapon so he can suck the blood.
Is it snake or dragon and snake or?
Dragon and it does look like a snake, but it's jaguar.
Oh.
It's kind of fox-looking creature.
Is it always one male, one female?
One male, one female. These are all the son of dragons, so they are now.
Oh,
not
male.
and I'm female. Okay, so now you know son of dragons. You can get for your. And what's the name of department store?
Hayashi.
Hayashi, yes, so it's the Hayashi department store, and it's not a Mandarin sounding name. It's more like a Japanese name. So it was built in 1932, and actually in 1932 there were 2 department stores. They were building at the same time. The one in the south, the other one in the north. So they all wanted to be the first ever department stores. The one in the south is the 7th floor buildings right over here. That will be the building they was building in 1932. And the center in the south, they was building Hayashi department store. And the staff, they kind of heard the opening day of this one. This one going to open on December 5th. So they are open on December 5th. And they, I guess then, advanced their opening day. So they open on December 3rd. And 2 days later, this one opened. So this one, it was the first department store in Taiwan. And this one is the second department store in Taiwan. But we can also say it's the first in China or in southern Taiwan. And if
Is that the same boss?
the same, but they are not run by different Japanese business.
Ah.
So it's owned by the Ming family, Hayashi family. And this one is the Kikumoto department store, probably owned by the Kikumoto family. But now, if you've been to Taipei, you probably have never seen the first ever department store in Taipei. Because now the facade has changed. It looks more like a commercial building. So unfortunately, they did not preserve the building well. And this one, it was also used as like a military center after the RC came. And then renovated. It was reopened in 2014 and continued to run as a department store. So literally you can go inside and you can go to a rooftop because it used to be the tallest building in Tainan. The 6th floor was the tallest building in 1932. And because when it was open, it's like the first ever. The wealthy people, they will go inside. But before they go inside the building, they will go to the bank. So the bank was built in the Japanese era as well. They will withdraw some money and then go to the department store to buy some things. people, what they would do would be take the elevator, the first commercial elevator to the top floor. But I don't recommend you to take the elevator because there will be a queue. So if your leg is okay, you can climb to the top floor. If you feel like, I need to take a rest, there will also be 2 chairs inside the first floor. And then we will meet inside, well, I think we can meet at 12. That's already the first entrance of Confucius Temple. And then we walk in from the first gate, and then this one is the second gate of Confucius Temple. And only Confucius Temple in Tainan has the full character written. It says the first ever school in Taiwan for the Chinese speaking speaker. They come here to learn Chinese characters and also Confucius ideas. And because they came here to learn Confucius ideas, so it's under the name of Confucius. But it was the first ever school to learn Mandarin. So if you stand in front of this entrance, that means you've been to the first ever Chinese speaking school in Taiwan. If you want, you can take a picture over here. Oh, we'll take a group picture here. You mind? Ming Dynasty. It was during the 17th century, the mid or end of the 17th century. And the reason why they built it, it was really simple. Because they want to fight back, so they have to educate the people here. So that's why they built the first ever Chinese speaking school.
They fight who?
Nurture to fight against the new established regime in China known as Qing Dynasty.
Oh.
And at the time, Taiwan was ruled by the Ming Dynasty. So that's why they have this temple. And then we'll go inside to learn a little bit of Confucius ideas. So you have to brace yourself. Imagine that you are the not elementary, but the junior high school kids learning Confucianism. Okay. Get rid of your drinks. It's more like a stage. So
Okay.
you can take a seat. No worry, the temple, instead of seeing his statue, you probably have never seen his statue if you have been to the temple. Only if your first time visiting Confucius temple. Also your first time Confucius temple? Or you been to Confucius temple?
Maybe.
Maybe it's your first
Yeah.
time. Probably it's not that common in Malaysia.
Yeah.
And that's it, great. But in Taiwan, we got every Confucius temple in every city. So Tainan is the oldest Confucius temple. And if you go to the temple itself, you can only see the tablets. You won't see the statue, like the goddess that you saw in the Sea Goddess temple. But this place, only the tablet. Because we think that he's like really a great person. He cannot be portrayed as a statue. So only his tablets is being worshipped. And his student, his descendants also being worshipped with the tablets. And his own house. You can also know it's good for you. Okay, I like the feeling. And my friend says like a toothpaste. Yeah. So probably you don't feel like putting the toothpaste around your skin. But I'm really used to it. So here it was a place used as a classroom. Students came here to learn Confucius ideas. But before you get to know about Confucius, you need to know who is he. And I know some of you probably have heard of his idea before. I'll just give you a easy background. So he was a guy born in China again. He has never ever been to Taiwan. But somehow his influence spread all the way to Taiwan or even to Japan, Korea. So he was born in the northeastern part of China 2,500 years ago. Long time ago, long before Taiwan had any Chinese or Dutch influence. And he worked as a politician for his own state or as a diplomat. So he offered advice to his leader or the ruler in his own state. But the thing is, his advice was not being applied or being used. So he felt a little bit upset. I have such wonderful ideas about education. Why don't we invest education in our own state? So he felt kind of sad. So he left and he quit the job from go around. While he was also really afraid quitting such noble job. Politician, advisor at the time was such a noble job. So he quit the job and traveled around, hoping that other leaders will appreciate his ideas about education. But none of them did. So in the end, well, he decided, I'm not going to be a politician. So what can he do? He become a teacher. So he started teaching students. And he also had a lot of grand ideas. So he also is a philosopher. So he has 3 roles when he was alive: politician, teacher, and philosopher. And you can think of him because in Greek culture, they also have a really ancient sage known as Socrates. So you can think of him as instant Socrates because he also had done this Greek job when he was alive. But I think his influence is really spread, not just in China, also like around Asia. And it's still being not like really externally influenced, but like internally we are still influenced by Confucius ideas. So if you want to know about his ideas, you would usually go to the book. We call it the Analects, or the Mandarin name we call it Wenyu. And I brought the 2 chapters of the book, only 2. Ooh. Okay, that's a knife. So this is only 2 chapters, only 2. But it's not written in English. It's written in traditional Chinese. So it has the 2 chapters. And this book, it was not written by him. It was written by his students. Because he was not a writer, it was written by his students, and it's a collection of conversations between him and his students. So they recorded down the conversation they got from Confucius. And what do you think this book is about? I'll give you 2 options. So the first one is like a quiz. The first one is how to be a good person. What does it mean by being a good person? And the second one is teach you how to be a good leader, about the leadership. And the third one is self-improvement, to improve yourself, to be a better person. So I will repeat it again. How to be a good person, how to be a good leader, and how to improve yourself. So which one do you think this book is about?
Good person.
Good person. You're gonna go for improve yourself. Okay, so we got 1, 3, 2, and you got 2. Okay, we got the most vote from 2. So the answer is you are all correct. Because this book it covered these 3. From my opinion, it really covered these 3. So I'll just use a quote written in this book to prove that it really got these 3. So the first one is how to be a good person. And in the first chapter is about learning. He mentioned that around the quote right here, he mentioned a young person should be respectful to their parents at home and also be respectful to elderly outside of his home. He should be truthful, loving, and patient. And after doing all of this, if he has time to spare, then he can learn literature and art. So for Confucius, being a good person, he starts from being a good child, from being a good son. So how to be a good person? You have to start in the family. So from the teacher's perspective, that makes sense. If the kid behaves well, that means the parent teach them really well. And then you go to the classroom, you will also know how to interact with your classmates, how to be a good student. And then when you go to get a job, you probably know how to get a job, how to maintain a good relationship with your boss or your colleagues. So they cover the first how to be a good person. And the second one will be the leadership. So the second chapter happens to be about the politician. So he mentioned that if you govern your country by punishment, by laws, by strict law, then people will learn to avoid the punishment, but they don't have the sense of shame. But if you govern them with virtue, with kindness, they will develop their sense of shame, and they will correct themselves. But this one is so hard to do, from my opinion. That being a good ruler, you have to teach them the virtue. So basically, you have to treat them nicely with your kindness and patience. So in return, they will be respectful. It's kind of about leadership. I'm still learning about this, how to control the whole process. I'm still one of the teachers learning. So maybe also learning about how to be a good leader. And you can also go for the book if you are interested. How Confucius teaches how to be a good leader. And the third one, I think I love the third one the most. Because in the quote, but not in the 2 chapters, it mentioned the rest of the chapters. I'll just turn it off. It's kind of annoying. So the last one is like self-improvement. In this book, he mentioned that if you see someone of worth, then you can learn from them. But if you see someone like not so good, unworthy, then you can reflect on your own character. So this one is written in the book as well. I thought it's so good. It's good for me to reflect on myself, and also good for me to treat kids. So if you see someone went into a fight, you want to have them be patient, so they can think about it. And there's another one is do not do to others that you don't want to be done to yourself. It's also mentioned in this book. So I love the self-improvement the most in the book. And as a Taiwanese, that we learned this when we were junior high school students. We learned a piece of the philosophy about it. But when we learned it, we didn't like it. It was until we grew up and we realized, it kind of makes sense. So behind you, there's also the calligraphy done by this student, like one of the well-known students. He mentioned how to be a good leader. It's all covering this calligraphy. So if you're interested, then you can take a picture of yourself with this calligraphy, showing that I'm learning how to be a good leader. So you can show it to your friends, and if you want to post it on social temple and get to know a little bit of his idea. Now we're gonna get rid of the Chinese region Confucius idea. Now we are facing the 3 buildings built around this intersection. These 3 buildings were all built in the Japanese era. The red brick building, the yellowish building, the concrete-looking building. These 3 were all built in Japanese era. And which one do you think was built at the beginning of the Japanese era? Yellowish? White building. At the beginning, the first one. So there's a 1 vote and 1 vote, and another vote. Okay, so the answer goes to this one. It was built at the beginning of the Japanese era. It was built around 1916. So when they were still wealthy, they put all the fancy things on the building. Later, we'll wrap up the tour in front of this museum. Now it's used as a museum. And this one was built in 1930. So they was like in transition, and they knew there would be a war because they were the ones starting the Second War. So they knew when there's a war, they will be bombing. And if they want to build a governmental building here, they want to make it invisible from the air bombing. So if you see the color, it's kind of the yellowish. And they also make the style more like elegant side, not really dramatic. And what do you think the function of the building? If you look at the hats design on the roof, that refers to a hat. And worn by the certain civil worker or public worker, they will wear this hat.
Farmer.
Farmer is not a civil worker back in the day.
Oh.
They will only be either postman or police officer or firefighter. So who are wearing this hat? There will be
Firefighter.
firefighter. Well, not firefighter. So if I show you this picture, you probably know the answer.
Policeman.
Police officer, yeah, policeman. So the hat refers to the police officer's hat. It was used as a headquarter of the police station in 1930, and then put the hat design. And in Tainan, we also have the police station with this hats, more realistic hat design. So it's all really cute. But now it has been renovated into the art museum, no longer the police station. And this building, well, it's an irrigation association. Now it's still the same function, and it was built in the 1940s, so they was already under the wall. They don't have any resources. They just make it really modern. So the street building kind of represents their financial status.
Right.
From the beginning was really good, and then was going all the way down. So at the end, they lost the war, and they say goodbye Taiwan. So they then left. And later we'll go straight to see the glory period of Japanese era in Taiwan. And if you take a look at this building, it looks similar to the department store that we went inside because they are designed by the same architect. So the design is called Art Deco, or like simple geometric features. Hong Kong is also really common in Australia. We also have the Art Deco buildings.
Malaysia also.
Have a lot of Art Deco
Yeah.
buildings. So more like close to modern building, but with a little bit of the elegant element. Okay, so what's that?
But Art Deco is not from Japan.
It's originally from France.
Yeah.
Okay, we can cross the road.
Wow.
And this one, it was also piece of the wood. So I hope that you can style buildings, the Roman style pillars, brick style building, even the rooftop, it's French style. You got two slopes, steeper and the slower one. So it's all the Western element, but built by the Japanese. So why did Japanese people want to build the Western style buildings in Taiwan? Why didn't they build the traditional Japanese building? But the reason was simple, because before they colonized Taiwan, they have been through Westernization movement. So they got the Western technology and they also architecture. But if the architect went back to Japan, they did not want the Japanese to build the Western building in Japan. And we were the first colony, so they have built all kinds of Western buildings in Taiwan as an experiment. But they have done a good job because it's been kept since 1916 to 2025. So it's been more than 100 years old. And they have think about the weather in Taiwan. It's hot and humid. Even in October, you feel the humidity of it. But in summer, that's another level. So you can see they actually heighten the basement for the air floor. And also the roof, they have think about the air floor. Otherwise, it would be crazy inside. So it was used as a power of the government building. It was used as a city hall. But now it's not a city hall, it's a museum for Taiwanese literature. And Well, in terms of Taiwanese literature, we've been through a lot. It could be written in Japanese, Taiwanese, or in Mandarin. So if you can read this one of the three languages, feel free to come inside. Or you can see the beauty, just appreciate the beauty. You can also come inside. It's free, open to the public. And if you turn around, you'll be able to see the roundabout. But unlike the roundabout in Australia, it's well organized. The roundabout here, you can see is really chaotic. That the cars and scooters all flow into the roundabout. And there are more than one row. There are more than 4 rows connecting to a roundabout. There were 7 roads connecting to the roundabout. So it's not a well-designed one. You can see, if you look at the roundabout from the bird's eye view, there are 7 roads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7. And we are right here. So it just makes the traffic a little bit chaotic. But in the Japanese era, people either ride bikes or they would walk. So very few of them drive a car, let alone scooters. So the traffic was not that bad in the Japanese era. But the modern traffic just changed. And the reason they designed it was simple. You can see the flag of the Japan. So if you look at the roundabout from the first side view, it looks like their national flag. So we use this to be respectful to the Japanese government. And the roundabout is not invented in Japan as well. It's also a Western thing. So they learned it from Paris, where they got the most roundabouts there. So I would like to go back to this building to wrap up the tour with an author that he was born in Tainan. His name is called Ye Shi Tao. So he was born at the end of the Japanese era. He worked as an author for his own lifetime. But he had been through different regimes from the Japanese, so he spoke Japanese, and then transitioned to the new Nationalist Party, ROC, so he had to learn Mandarin. Back in the day, during the Japanese era, people in Taiwan, we did not speak Mandarin. We spoke Hokkien, or Taiwanese and Japanese. So he had to learn Mandarin and publish his work in Mandarin. So a talented language learner. And the thing is, after the war, there was another dark period in Taiwan. So we want to prevent any communist influences. So we banned any activity related to communists. And he was just reading the communist book, so he was arrested for a few years. And he had some setback, but he continued to be an author. And he wrote a lot of stories about Taiwan, including Tainan. So in one of his works, he described Tainan is a best place. Well, maybe not the best. It's a good place to drink, to work, to fall in love, and to get married, to settle down, to have a life of your own. So for you, would be a good place to lay back and to just walk around, to travel. So I hope at the end of the tour that you have feel the beauty of Tainan as much as I do. And thank you. They will sell the noodle dishes. There will be a shrimp and the braised pork on top, and the noodle and some soup. So this shop is invented by the fisherman, and during the offshore fishing season that he had to make a living. So he started selling the noodles on the street, holding the shoulder pole, and eventually got really popular. So when it comes to the second generation, they found the shop over there. Cross the road, go down, you see the shop. That's founded by the second generation, and now it's run by the 4th or 5th generation. So it's been run for more than 100 years. And the thing is, they don't just sell their traditional shoulder pole noodles. They come from selling from the shoulder pole. Also, if you finish the whole bowl, they got the painting of this roundabout. So they also sell a piece of the art. And the painting roundabout, you will have some Taiwanese prose. You want some soup, written in Chinese. So they have some artwork on the bowl. And apart from this, they also have a dish. Or if you are in Tainan, I recommend you to try milkfish. If you are vegetarian,
I eat fish.
Oh, you eat fish? Yeah, okay, that's nice. So you can try the milkfish belly. It's so great. It's crispy outside and they're tender inside. So we call it milkfish. It has nothing to do with milk. It's just because it's full of protein. So we call it milkfish. And the color of the fish, it has the milky color. So that's why it got the name. And actually in Mandarin, we call it sabahi. Oh, sorry, in Taiwanese, we call sabahi. And there are several sayings. Where's the name coming from? One is from Spanish, Salvador, because we used to trade with Spanish merchants, and they call the name of the fish Salvador. So it got twisted into sabahi in Taiwan and in Taiwanese. And then also the Hokkien way, because there's a general who kicked out the Dutch. And when he came to Taiwan, the fisherman offered him the fish, milkfish, and he asked, what's the name of the fish? And it sounds like sabahi. So they got the name sabahi from Hokkien or from Spanish or maybe from indigenous people, meaning ice. So there are different sayings. We don't know where's the name sabahi, milkfish, coming from. But while you're in Taiwan, I recommend you to try milkfish.
Which is the name of the restaurant?
The name of the restaurant is written here. Basically means passing the...
Oh, same restaurant for both dish.
They do have the shoulder pole noodle dish. They also have the
I see.
stir-fry milkfish. But they also have other shops that sell stir-fry milkfish, so you don't
Okay.
have to go for that one. And you
Okay.
can also try the milkfish congee. It's really good. That's what I like. Some people can do it as breakfast. But most of people, if you are like eating breads during the breakfast, then you can go for lunch. So this one would be the two dishes I'll recommend it to you.